Imagine two people with the same intelligence, the same education, and the same ability to solve problems. One seems calm, focused, and able to plan years ahead. The other feels constantly overwhelmed, distracted, and trapped in short-term decisions that never seem to improve their situation. The difference is not talent or discipline, it may simply be scarcity. When resources like money, food, or security become limited, the human brain begins to think differently, prioritize differently, and interpret the world in ways that keep survival at the forefront. Poverty is not just a financial state, it is a psychological environment that reshapes the brain over time. At the center of this transformation is scarcity bias. Scarcity bias occurs when the brain becomes hyper-focused on what is missing or threatened. When resources are abundant, the mind can wander across multiple possibilities: long-term planning, creativity, and future goals. But when resources are scarce, the brain tunnels its attention on the immediate shortage: rent, bills, or the next meal. Inside this tunnel, nothing else matters. This narrowing of attention has real consequences. Research shows that scarcity reduces mental bandwidth, making concentration, memory, and strategic thinking more difficult. This does not mean people are less intelligent. It means the brain reallocates its energy to urgent survival problems, a response honed over thousands of years of evolution. When food or resources were limited, focusing all energy on securing the next meal was essential. Today, the brain uses the same mechanism, often trapping people in cycles of short-term thinking. Survival psychology explains why these changes feel so intense. The brain evolved to treat resource scarcity as a threat to life itself. Stress hormones like cortisol rise, the amygdala, the brain's threat detector, activates, and attention sharpens toward immediate danger. In short bursts, this response is adaptive. It helps solve urgent problems and avoid harm. But when scarcity becomes chronic, the body remains in a prolonged state of alert. Everyday setbacks, small bills, or minor unexpected expenses are interpreted as threats, triggering anxiety and physical stress responses. Muscle tension, racing thoughts, and sleep disruption are all common consequences of this prolonged survival mode. Social comparison adds another layer. Humans naturally assess their status relative to others, a behavior rooted in evolutionary history. Early humans who were lower in status had reduced access to resources and protection. In modern society, wealth has become a clear signal of social standing. Observing peers with greater financial security triggers feelings of inadequacy, shame, and exclusion. This social pain activates the same neural regions as physical pain, making inequality feel viscerally threatening. Constantly comparing oneself to others amplifies scarcity thinking, reinforcing the sense that resources are limited and competition is intense. Over time, scarcity bias, threat perception, and social comparison create a self-reinforcing loop. The brain becomes hyper-focused on immediate survival, reducing cognitive capacity for long-term planning. Decisions are dominated by short-term needs, even if they offer little lasting relief. The mind becomes trapped in a cycle where scarcity feels permanent and opportunities for change seem distant or impossible. Yet the human brain is not without tools for adaptation. Cognitive flexibility, the ability to shift thinking, reinterpret challenges, and generate alternative strategies, can help break the scarcity loop. When people develop flexibility, they can step outside the tunnel of immediate survival and engage brain regions responsible for planning, reasoning, and problem-solving. This does not eliminate financial hardship, but changes how the brain perceives it. Scarcity becomes a challenge to navigate rather than a permanent threat, allowing creative problem-solving and strategic thinking to re-emerge. Understanding how poverty affects the brain challenges common misconceptions. Behaviors often labeled as irresponsibility or short-sightedness are, in many cases, rational responses to a brain under pressure. Scarcity shapes perception and prioritization, not intelligence. Addressing poverty effectively requires considering both material conditions and psychological realities. Reducing constant financial stress and creating environments that support cognitive flexibility can help people regain mental bandwidth, plan effectively, and pursue long-term solutions. Ultimately, the scarcity mindset is both an adaptation and a limitation. Scarcity bias narrows attention, social comparison intensifies feelings of inadequacy, and threat perception keeps the body in a constant state of alert. Yet within the same brain lies the potential for flexibility and growth. With support, guidance, and strategic opportunities, the mind can step out of survival mode, regain perspective, and envision a future beyond immediate scarcity. Poverty does not merely limit resources, it shapes the mind. But understanding and adapting to these changes allows the brain to reclaim its natural capacity to plan, create, and thrive.